Ladies and gentlemen, this is Shadow of the Dream, and we are here to talk about GTA 6, Sony prices, and other kind of stuff, and live service, and the Steam machine, which everybody was hyped until people start to realize that it was gonna be something that not everybody could afford. Now, listen, ladies and gentlemen, all started with GTA 6. So everything we started when Rockstar decided to drop like some news and stuff like about the cover art, and that we already know what it was gonna look like, but it's still pretty cool to see like the cover art, and then they announcing that they're gonna release the pre-orders like I believe it was June 25. And man, everybody was already hyped and all that kind of stuff, and I was hyped too, because if there is pre-alphas, there is the price of the game to be revealed, and that's exactly what happened. We got the price, and I would say this: the standard edition it's not as bad as I think everybody thought it was. I mean, it's the Ultimate Edition that has the problem, because $80 for like I believe which is gonna be one of the greatest and biggest games ever. I mean, it's Rockstar, right? Like you have basically like one of the biggest companies of video games in the world, like basically saying like, hey, we could do 100 with this standard, but nah, we're not gonna do this, because they know that 100 just for the standard is craziness. Like it's crazy even for a company as big as Rockstar, and it's crazy. People already would buy it. Like people, I mean, it would be more backlash than what it is right now because of the 100 edition, Ultimate Edition, 100 price cost and all that kind of stuff. Everybody was scared because everybody thought that the standard would be the 100 that everybody are shining right now and all that kind of stuff. And you know what, man? Looking at that way, like it could have been worse. It's I think it's decent, like the 80 price tag, because when you think about how much it costs to make this game and stuff, you start to be like, okay, I understand, like standard edition and stuff, and the ultimate costing the 100 that people were scared of, and you have those two options that you can still afford the game. I mean, if you have a problem of spending like 20 plus bucks into the game, you can still you can still pay less and still enjoy the game and stuff. But the problem comes when you start to put content that you think it will be available in the in the full game, like the standard edition into the Ultimate Edition. Now, granted, you need an excuse, like you need like a reason for people to pay like $20 more. Even though that I think this is probably less egregious than putting like New Game Plus into like a subscription, or like a deluxe edition and stuff like that. I think it still sucks that there is like some kind of content that very well you could just put in the standard game, and all that kind of stuff into the the standard version of it and stuff. And as much as people want to talk about it, like people want to say like, bro, there's not even 1% of the game. Like the truth of the matter is that it still sucks. It still sucks. It just does, bro. Because we know that like, if we accept these things that are going on right now, because they want you to accept this, they want you. I mean, it's not Rockstar. Like every other company that is big as hell and decides to do Ultimate Editions and all that kind of stuff, like they want you to start accepting these things and stuff. Like these things of uh, you don't own your games that you buy online and stuff. Like you gotta pay more if you want the full experience of the game. So that is used as an excuse for you to pay more, and all that kind of stuff. And also making the price higher and higher, and giving the excuse that the AI is the one that's making me doing stuff, and we all know this is a very big ass excuse and stuff. And even though the AI is impacting the prices and stuff, nobody is like, it's not like nobody is forcing you to put the price higher and higher in like 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times, like Xbox and Microsoft is doing with the goddamn Xbox versions and all that kind of stuff. Like if I'm not mistaken, bro, the Xbox console like just got a price hiking like 5 multiple times or 4 multiple times or stuff. I just know that a lot of times that happened. Not only with the console, but of course with the Game Pass. And man, you just look at this and you just look at everything else around you, and you start to look like a little bit. You start to take a step back and start to looking at everything and that is happening on the industry, and you start to realize that, man, I think these guys are starting to realize that. Like, I think these guys are starting to start the strategy of, hey, if we can make one accept this, we can make another guy accept this, and maybe keep pushing this forward and forward until people get tired of fighting and start to talk shit about we making the prices higher and more expensive and all that kind of stuff. And to the point that we're gonna start they're gonna start accepting everything that we are doing in this, and of course they might get mad at this or maybe even more mad at this, but if we keep pushing eventually and maybe come back to this again and again and have like a big excuse like GTA 6, we're gonna start making things more expensive, and everybody's just gonna accept it and accept it. And even though that I understand some of the excuses about GTA 6, because GTA 6 is basically the most expensive game I believe that is being made at this moment, which is the leaks say like the leaks say like it's something like 2 billion or something just to make this game, which I can understand. Like, you wanting to make your game more expensive, so just so we can cover those costs. And it doesn't matter like what you says and all that about the GTA itself or Rockstar. Like, they still gonna sell, which by the way they already did. Like, they sold like what, 39 million copies already. That's what I heard. Like, on just pre-sales. And bro, we still don't have like gameplay. We still don't have like a showcase of the game that Rockstar released. I mean, we just only have like 2 trailers and a cover art trailer. We don't have like any gameplay and stuff. Even though that we already know how GTA 6 is gonna play for the most part, because again, in GTA, like if you look back at history, and if you look even had Red Dead Redemption, we already know how GTA 6 is gonna play. Now, the only question is what GTA 6 is gonna bring of new, because that's the most exciting part. Like, how many content, how expensive, and how many things are you gonna be able to do in the world already? And if all that is gonna be available on the standard edition, because GTA 5 by itself has a lot of content. Like, it has a lot of content if you don't even count online and stuff. Like, if I'm not mistaken, you can finish GTA 5 like in 50 hours or something. Like, the main story, like 30 hours or something like that. And that is without counting like the extra content, the side quests, and all that. So yeah, man, like when you think about it, like like Rockstar like putting some shops here and there, like behind a paywall, like the Ultimate Edition. It's not that bad when you think about the overall experience that you're gonna get from the game. But the problem is, it's not exactly Rockstar. It is, again, Rockstar has the power to change video game industry. Like as much as this sounds crazy and stuff, like they have the power. Because the truth of the matter is that every company wanna be as successful, if not even more successful, than Rockstar game is. Because with Rockstar, you basically have the excuse of getting away with everything. The shark cards, the goddamn farming that you gotta do on the online mode, and all the many, hours you gotta spend just to have like $1 million on your bank account, and spend this $1 million like it was like you spending like a few cents on GTA Online just to buy one car that is probably not even gonna be useful and all that kind of stuff. Look, I play GTA 5 a lot, like GTA 5 Online, and I know how this thing works. And not gonna lie, I believe that GTA 6 is gonna be the same thing. And I mean, maybe in the beginning it's gonna be really cool because everybody, is not gonna have too much money and not gonna have too much heists, and the price is probably gonna be lower. But I can see them, make it the game, the things in the game more expensive, like everything needing like $1 million or $2 million or $10 million just to buy a house and stuff like that. I can see them doing that just to make people play more, and just so they can have more money, and they can spend more time in the game and all that kind of stuff, and get addicted and all that. I mean, that's gonna be the same thing with GTA Online. Like, I don't see Rockstar not doing something like that. I'm just curious about the new things that they're gonna bring to the table, if even it's gonna be worth it, because we already know the graphics is gonna be amazing. I mean, Red Dead 2 was released like not too long ago, and we already know how it turned out to be, like a masterpiece and stuff. Now the question goes, is the story gonna be amazing? Is the story gonna be interesting? Or is the story gonna be like funny again, like GTA 5? Because I'm gonna say this, GTA 5 is funny as fuck. It's funny as fuck. It might not be the most depth story compared to Red Dead 2, but man, like GTA 5 is funny as fuck. And I still remember people loving GTA 5 when it came out, because it was just funny, like, and the characters were iconic, regardless of what you say about it. I mean, yeah, maybe Arthur Morgan is more iconic than CJ, of course, but I mean, the characters were pretty funny, and I'm really curious if they're gonna tackle the story the same way as GTA 5, or if they're gonna keep going on a cool story, like depth and character interesting story as Arthur Morgan on Red Dead 2 and all that kind of stuff. But I believe that when you look at it like from the back and everything that GTA 6 might offer for you on the standard edition, like, I believe it's more worth it you just buy the standard edition, like $80 and stuff. Just because, just because if you just want to play the game and experience what the game has to offer, I believe that the base game of GTA 6 it already is gonna be worth it, because, I mean, just look at Red Dead 2. Like, they probably taking a bunch of notes that they did with Red Dead Redemption 2, and because Red Dead 2 is such a acclaimed game, an incredible game by itself, and it happens to give you so much content in it. Like, you can bet that GTA 6 is probably taking notes of Rockstar's own work, and to use to improve GTA and stuff in certain aspects. I don't know about the story. I don't know if the story is gonna be as interesting as Arthur Morgan, but I believe that the content that the game and the cities of Vice City and Florida is gonna is gonna present to you, always gonna be worth the $80. Now, whether if you want to experience the extra stuff and shops and customization and probably cosmetic stuff of the Ultimate Edition. Now that's gonna be sub to you. And you know, with that, like, I'm excited for GTA 6. I'm excited. I can't, like, I'm believing that everybody's gonna try out. Like, I'm hearing even like Maximilian Dude, which is a big, you know, fighting game guy and RPG guy. Like, even him's talking about like trying out the game and stuff. Like, so, I mean, I believe that when GTA 6 come out, like, people probably gonna forget about. I mean, if one of my honest thoughts, people are probably gonna forget about, you know, everything that was said, you know, before the game launches, all the controversial stuff and all that kind of stuff. And of course, this always gonna depend of the expectations that you are having for the game. Because if, I mean, let's be honest, if you were expecting to go to the moon or to go to the space, like I'm here in Warframe and explore the entire space, you're probably gonna get disappointed. But I mean, it's probably gonna be an amazing game, and I'm still hyped for it. I'm still curious what's gonna happen. But when it comes to the rest of the, you know, I believe the industry, I'm a little bit worried because you know how these greedy ass companies are. They always learn the worst lessons that you can possibly learn. Like they always come with the worst possible options and choices that, and they still manage to think like, nah, our public is gonna love this. They're gonna love this. Like, we're gonna put the prices a little bit higher because, you know, makes sense, and they're gonna accept this. And you know, the truth of it is that there's people that actually are accepting this. And you know, I don't have control of anybody's life. I don't tell you what to expend your money and stuff. All I'm saying is that, man, the video game studios, like the industry, they know how to mess with your money. They know how to get you to spend more of your money, you know, like something that you probably would say like, nah, there is no way I'm gonna spend this how much on this. Like, they are definitely winning in the case of, nah, we're gonna convince you to spend this money that you once said to yourself like, nah, bro, there is no way I'm gonna spend my money on this. Like, I'm just having a bad impression in this whole thing, you know, like, because the truth of the matter is that companies are greedy, Rockstar is greedy, everybody's greedy, and they all have their own ways of convincing you how to spend more in either a product or a video game or a cosmetic. And that's the only worry that I have for the whole GTA 6 stuff, the industry going forward and all that. You know, again, I still believe GTA 6 is gonna be a banger. It's gonna be a game that is gonna be remembered for years. But, you know, like, when you think about it, like, every good thing comes with something bad with it, you know, something that you probably did not expect. So we're gonna see. Now, as to Sony, which is probably gonna be on this title, Sony is investing in live services again. Did you know that? Like, did you heard about this, bro? Like what are you talking about? Like, bro, is Marathon? Please answer me this in the comments. Is Marathon doing good right now? Like, is Marathon like doing record numbers or something? Because, bro, if I'm not mistaken, like, nobody cares about Marathon, like High Guard and all this kind of stuff. Like, now, granted, the only multiplayer that I think I was excited for was actually the Last of Us 2 multiplayer. But the thing is, we never got that. So like, you know, who cares? You know, like, who cares about live service and stuff? Like, maybe Helldivers, but then again, I don't know how good Helldivers is doing right now, because I heard some things here and there, and I think people are pissed because of, I don't know, maybe because of an update. I still gotta look more into that if I really care about, you know, Helldivers. I mean, Helldivers, I think, you know, for what I saw, is a very fun game, and I think you can still make games multiplayer and online that are really fucking fun. But like live service, like if you spend your whole money into trying to make the best live service ever, like you're just gonna spend your you're just gonna spend your money with nothing, and probably the money that the live service that did success, that you did succeed, is probably not gonna be enough to, you know, come give you back that money that you spend with all those different live service. So yeah, man, like Sony is trying to do more live services and stuff, and also not only that, like they're doing some horrible decisions with, you know, the movies that you probably purchase in your PlayStation and stuff, in your console and all that kind of stuff. Like they even getting rid of that because they want to remind you that, hey, the things that you own as a PlayStation, you know, fanboy, or as a PlayStation or console guy, is not forever, boy. It's digital. Like you just own a license. You don't own the thing, you know. And which is funny because, you know, there was like I think it's a jury, like some juridical thing. I don't know much about, you know, justice system and the goddamn tribunal, you know, all this stuff with lawyers and stuff. But I heard some news about, you know, PlayStation having to justify the reason why players don't own the game and just only own the license to play the game and stuff. And man, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's really fucking sad to me because, you know, I'm a PlayStation guy. Like the first console that I really wanted in my life, like as a new next generation console for me, even though the PlayStation 4 was already out, was a PlayStation 3. But because, you know, I saw online as a young guy, you know, as a young boy, that the PlayStation 4 was actually better, and, you know, and PlayStation 4 was actually really awesome, and I still playing with the PlayStation 4 till this day. You know, PlayStation 4, man, was probably one of the gold generations for, you know, PlayStation in general. Just behind, I believe, PlayStation 2, because that is my goldie, you know, that's my golden goose, that's the classic. But when it comes to the PlayStation 4, man, I was really excited to get it. And, you know, when I got, man, I still spend like thousands of hours inside of this console, you know, and stuff like that. Now, granted, like, grow up, like, go to the next, to the current generation, upgrade, like PlayStation 5 and stuff, I get it. But man, like, I was, you know, I grew up on PlayStation. And to see the situation that they are right now, like, you know what, those games that you probably already spend like thousands of dollars or thousands of money on, you know, the games and stuff, and the cosmetics and the multiplayer stuff. Yeah, that you don't actually own that. Like, it's just a license. You know what I'm saying? Like hearing them say that, like I knew they were already greedy. But man, in the recent years, like, I didn't know they could be that greedy. You know, I didn't know they could be that worse. They could be worse, you know. And man, like, as much as people shit on Xbox and Microsoft and stuff, like, bro, PlayStation is the same thing. Like, all those companies are the same thing, just in different ways. You know, when you think about it, just in different ways. Game Pass is gonna be more expensive, and I gotta pay more. I mean, PlayStation is expensive as shit. I gotta say this, I don't know where you live at, but here in Brazil, bro, the PlayStation Plus is expensive as hell. It's like $500. Like think about a $500 subscription every year. Now think of that, like, here in Brazil. Like, that is some, like, it's crazy expensive, bro. And, you know, as a PlayStation fan, to hear see PlayStation doing those things and stuff is really disappointing, bro. Even when you think about, like, because I probably already explained thousands of money just buying games single player games on this console. And to think that they could one day just, get all those games out of your library for no fucking reason one day is really scary. It's actually really, really damn scary. Because like you think about all the time that you support like the console, the brand and stuff, because you just like the games, this exclusive. Ghost of Tsushima, I still think is one of the best, less exclusive that PlayStation has, put out there. And I just think PlayStation 4 was like a great generation for PlayStation. I mean, no wonder people say that PlayStation 4 dog walk like the Xbox One and stuff. But console wars aside, like it's pretty sad, bro, to look at these companies that you probably spend a lot of money supporting, and like I wanna see more of you, so I'm gonna spend like this money to buy your things and stuff. Like it's just really damn sad. And then again, man, when you look right now at the broad distance, when you look at where everything is going and stuff, like it's actually pretty damn fucking sad, because we all know that things are going into a very dark direction. Like even the PC guys can have a break. Like I'm hearing about goddamn, I forgot the name of the companies. I'm sorry, but RTX and all the companies' hardware and all this kind of stuff getting more expensive, not just because AI, but because other reasons. And now you hear like expecting, maybe it's gonna get cheaper in the future. This is this is probably like a moment thing. Like things gonna get cheaper in a few months, in a few years, and stuff. And now you have the news that the hardware is not gonna get cheaper. Actually, we're not gonna come back into those 2020 levels of price. That was way cheaper than it is right now. No, things just gonna get more expensive. This is the new normal, and it is what it is. And man, like, shit, I look at all of this, and it's just sad, bro. Because if there's the only truth for this right here that is going on right now in the gaming industry, is that it's gonna get worse. Like it's gonna get worse. Like things are gonna really get worse. And the truth of the matter is, I don't think it matters how, unless unless everybody just hold hands and start to do like a Genkidama, like put its hands up in the air and just do a big ass Genkidama that is gonna explode like a nuclear bomb or something. Like unless we do like a fucking wild army of the dead protesters or something like that. Like unless that happens and we don't expend our money with any more fucking games besides indie games from now on, I really don't think things are gonna change, bro. I really don't think things are gonna really change. Just gonna get worse. And that's the sad truth of it. It's just gonna get worse. It is just gonna get worse. And man, it's sad because, I don't want just myself to enjoy this game. I know that I can have a job and, spend a few bucks on video games and stuff, here and there. Probably less than before because, video games are now very expensive right now. But then again, they're just gonna get worse, and just to think of that, and think of the possible people that are not gonna probably play games anymore because, expensive, and probably one day it's gonna be a hobby, a hobby for the rich people. Is pretty damn sad, bro. It's actually pretty damn fucking sad. But I have my hopes. I have my hopes that one day, things are gonna get better, because the truth of it is that if we can rely on, like, if we can rely on expensive AAA games, at least we can rely on indie games to fulfill the enjoyment experience of playing an actual fun game with your friends or by yourself. At least. I was not thinking about them very much, but now I think I agree with y'all. Indie game's gonna be the future, bro. Indie game's gonna be the future. And the truth of the matter is, if people don't care about the games that are on top right now, if they stop caring about those games, they're gonna start looking for the next game, the next company for them to support and care about. And those companies, start always at one way. As an indie company, as an indie studio, as an indie game. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is Shadow of the Dream, and I just wanted to talk about this because, I did not react to the pre-orders trailer, I did not react to the screenshots. I mean, I saw the screenshots, and, there was no GTA 6 trailer, so I could not, make a trailer because, so I'm doing this video to kind of, give you guys something, because actually, like, I'm trying to get my room made, try to get my own room so I can do these videos more comfortable, get a little more comfortable doing these videos for you guys and stuff. But yeah, this is my thoughts about this whole thing that is going on right now because, man, this got getting more expensive. We are hearing about Sony getting into live service again for some reason. We're also hearing about the, Ultimate Edition of GTA 6 and all that controversy and all that kind of shit. And also games getting more expensive and, hardware getting more expensive, PC gaming getting more expensive and all that kind of shit. Like, it's all bad news, bro. Like, there's no single news this weekend. But it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Shadow of the Dream. And we are searching for a dream. And that dream is for a better world, a better game experience, a better life. I'm out.